Hello everyone, so today we are doing camshaft position sensors in the bank 2 position on a 2009 Cadillac STS4, the all-wheel drive model. Now the biggest problem I've had so far with doing this job is that not a single person on earth who's ever done this wanted to post a video about it apparently. So I might be the first here to help you guys out. So to begin with, you're going to want to start by taking off all these protective engine covers. I got a few of them off. Really, you only need this one off, the one on the driver's side, and you want the engine cover off. Those are the only three that are really getting in your way. You could just leave that one on there. It's not fucking with anything. Normally, when doing something like this, I would disconnect the battery just for safety purposes. But she's over here doing window tint, and we got to be able to roll them up and down. So it'll be all right. But if you're doing it, better be safe than sorry and just disconnect the battery. I'm not too worried about it. After you take off all the protective engine panels, covers, whatever you want to call them, you're gonna want to take off this intake hose onto your intake manifold right here, and you're gonna have a washer clamp here at the beginning. It's an 8mm. Use an 8mm socket wrench, whatever. It's pretty easy to get to. And then you'll have another one right here. I got my air box out of it. I'm gonna put a filter on there, so I don't got any of that in the way. But you probably want to take that out as well. Give you a lot more arm room right there. Cut over here, if I'm correct, I think you only have 2 bolts for it, and it would be this one being a 10mm bolt, and then there's another one down here that's a star bit somewhere. I can't quite recall, but you'll find it if yours is still connected. If I'm not mistaken, it's a T25 bit, and it's just those 2 bolts that keep that in there. You got the hose dangling on top, and then you'll have a Phillips, 2 Phillips, one on each side that connects your hose to your intake box. You're going to want to remove that as well. You can use a flathead screwdriver to get them off though, because of the way the bolts were made. Disconnect your vacuum line from your intake hose. Get that out of there. You don't got to take it off all the way, but you do want to take your intake hose all the way off of your intake manifold, because that's just going to be in your way for most of this. All right, you can see everything a lot better in here now that you got everything removed on your end, hopefully. We got right here, I believe this is sensor 1 or 2. I honestly can't recall. You can look up a diagram and figure it out. I'm sorry. And then you got your other one in bank 2 right here. These are both of your camshaft position sensors. One right here on the top, easiest one to see and to get to. And then you'll have this other one back here that's kind of hiding by the power steering pump, but you can still access the plug. I would leave that plugged in until you have the sensor removed. It'll prevent it from falling down underneath the car and giving you more hassle than what you need. Alrighty, once again, now that everything else is out of the way, we're left with something that's looking like this. Hopefully you removed your black box, because I promise you it's going to be a pain if you leave that there. So we're going to want to start by getting this bolt all the way down here. I'm going to come in real slow for all you guys who want a thorough inspection. We got this bolt all the way down here. So you got 2 hoses coming up right here. It'll be that big boy right there. That's a 3/4 right there. You're going to want to loosen that one. I know some of you guys get confused like me, so just remember, this bolt, when you're coming at it from the driver's side, it goes up. You don't want to over tighten it. Sometimes you might be getting confused, you know, you're working out here, it goes up. If you're getting at it from the driver's side, this bolt goes up to loosen it, down to tighten it. Don't forget. It's so loose, you can just kind of twist it off with your fingers, so you got to sit there and hear the wrench ding around a bunch. This kind of stuff gets overstimulating. Yeah, just trying to get this bolt up on out of here. Kind of hard to see, but if you're the one doing it, trust that you can see it. All right, we got this bolt out of here. You don't want to lose it. I like to put it in the wrench. 3/4 right there. Keep it in there. It's the only 3/4 bolt that you'll need for this entire job, so don't lose it. All right, and then sorry for that. All right, now here comes the part that I honestly hate the most about doing this, but it's not terrible. A lot of people tell you that you're gonna have to remove this to get to the sensors, which seems like it makes a lot of sense, because that 10mm bolt that's holding this sensor in down here, good luck getting to it. Or at least when you're taking the sensor out, I should say. So for now, you start by loosening that right there sensor with a 10 millimeter, and then we'll move on getting this kinda out of the way. But we're not gonna take it off out all the way. There's no need to do that. It tells you need to do that. It's just wasting your time. A couple ways you can go at it. You need to take the wrench. Bit on there. It's 10 millimeter. I had an 8 on there. My bad from the. Anyways, 2 ways you can go about this. You got to get this one out of here. You see this bracket right here? Almost looks like a throttle something, but it's not. Just a stupid little bracket. You got to slide underneath here. Make sure you have it on loose. Try to get that. It's pretty hard to see. Let me get back on here with my light. I can figure out how to. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right, so I got my light on. See, got it in there. Give it. It don't got much wiggle room, but you got enough to get, depending on your wrench, at least one twist in there. Enough to start getting it loose. Toss your wrench to the side. Try to find a way to maneuver your arm through all these, depending on the size of your arm. If not, just keep using the wrench. But if you got a small enough arm, maneuver your hand in here. It's not loose enough yet, but take your pointer and your middle finger, get it around that 10 millimeter, start twisting it, pushing that way. You can slide that bad boy out with your finger, and you're gonna want to do it that way so you can catch it and it don't fall underneath the car. I found that out the hard way. All right, I've gotten it pretty loose in there, so I'm gonna continue to record so I get the focus. See, she's coming loose now. That the whole sensor's wanting to drop out now that I got that that bolt coming loose. And if you didn't have the sensor connected, it would be a big steaming bowl of cow crap when you come to loosen this power steering pump. Good luck finding that. That's all I gotta say. So please keep it on that sensor. Save yourself some stress. Keep it on that cable. I mean. We're gonna try to get this thing off here. Like I said, cause a bit of problems. But slow and steady, you'll get it out. It hurts. I'm not gonna lie to you. But look at that, we got it out. And I dropped the damn bolt. I'm gonna catch it, don't worry. I got it. Oh yeah, look at that, 10 millimeter. Now, I necessarily wouldn't recommend reusing these bolts, but if you got something like, got some STP grease over here, high temp, put that on there, could get away with reusing it. But if you got a spare 10 millimeter bolt you can buy, or you got laying around that you know fits, go ahead and use a new one. If you got the part box for your new one, I would recommend just taking your bolts, throwing them in the box. You do not want to lose these if you don't have spares. If you don't got them, you cannot get your engine back running, so please do not lose them. All right, now we got the most difficult part of the job oncoming right here, but it's absolutely doable for everybody at home. If you just got a wrench, you do not need a mechanic for this, I promise you. Ugh. So down in here, we're gonna have a 10 millimeter bolt, they say, but honestly I can't remember if that's correct. I'm gonna find out for sure. I gotta even find the location of this damn bolt, because it's always in here hiding somewhere. If I'm not mistaken, it is right here. Yep. Okay, so come in here. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to shimmy. You got the power steering pump right here, in between the throttle body right here, electronic throttle body. Run your fingers down, get it down here alongside, right underneath both of them, kind of like this, and then you'll see this bracket right here connects on the right. We're not doing nothing about that. We already take care of it with that 3/8 bolt, or 5/8, whatever the hell it was. But right here is the other connection point of the brackets. Take your hand, slide under here, guide yourself in there, look at that. My 2 fingertips found it right here. Should be a 10 millimeter. If not, it's either a 12 or a 13. I'm about to check right now. Used an extension wrench for this part. You cannot get it otherwise. So please make sure you got one of these bad boys. All right, so when you get down in here, come at it with both arms. Take your extension. Use your left or right arm, whatever you're dominant with, to guide the bolt up in here. Feel around. Try to locate it. Oh, look at that. She's a 10 millimeter. Push down. Down. Always down when you're working on the engine. Always down, never up if you're trying to loosen. That's how you want to get it. Now you got the bolt coming loose. See, this job ain't bad at all. Now we can see this starting to shake a little bit. You want to keep getting at it with this. After you get it so loose, you can do the same thing, twisting it with your finger. But remember, you do not want to take this pump off all the way, because there ain't no point in it. And just loosen it a little bit. Get enough to wiggle out that little sensor right there and comfortably put in the new one without chipping it up or anything. You'll be all right. Just gotta make sure you got enough room in there for that sensor to fall out good. But it won't get lost if you kept that cable connected to it like I said so. Look at that, she's coming loose. We don't even have to take this whole thing off, man. Just keep getting loose. Look at that. Look at all that space we got right there. That's more than enough to get your sensor in and out right there. Boom. Let's continue on. All right, now that we got it loosened, I didn't do anything else extra. Let's see if we can wiggle this bad boy out of here. Look at that. She came out and she loved it. Let's look at this sensor. That thing is not pretty. If your car's pretending like it's in limp mode, getting bad fuel economy, misfiring, random cylinders, you know, or whatever the hell is going on, and you had a camshaft code, you better hope it didn't look like that. Here we got a brand new Chevy part, getting ready to throw it on there. Bosch Chevy, I don't know, it's a GM certified part. That's all that matters to me. Compare them to each other. Oh yeah, she's gonna love that. This right here ain't good. Disconnect the sensor from the cable. It's relatively easy most of the time. You press down on here real hard and you'll hear it click. Just like that. Had to put some shoulder into it because a lot of the times these will start to get a lot of dust build up, maybe even decay, and the plastic will just start to break upon itself and they won't want to open back up. But pops right out. Look at that. Ugh. Ooh, yeah, let's get this out of there. That don't belong in a Cadillac. Once again, I'd like to reinstate, these are the bank 2 sections. If you're standing in the front of the car, it's on the right side of the engine. Bank 1 is on the left. I've already replaced this one just the other day because I had a code for that one. But I checked it with a better scanner, a diagnostic tool. And that one was also coming out bad, which was no surprise to me. But so that one's already been done. It's real easy. I mean, you don't need a video for that one. This one right here is the one I give you props. The old ones. See them. Yeah, that ain't good. Well, that one looks worse. Man, good. All right, new part. Connected. Get this shit on the right side, because I don't. Like that. Now we're gonna get it plugged in there, get the screw in there, start recording when I'm at that point.
Whenever I need to send roses that are here,
You're gonna need your 10 millimeter bolt again. If you're reusing it, just like I said, use some STP premium high temperature grease, something along the lines of that. That'll keep your bolt from getting too hot and cracking and snapping while it's in your engine bay. Since you're a cheap bastard like me and chose to reuse it instead of buy a new one. The easiest way to go about inserting your new sensor is to go ahead and try and get it in there first, just the sensor, and then take your screw from underneath and put it in that way. But you got your sensor position. We're not going to worry about getting the bolt in next because we got to get this back up into position, and then we'll worry about that. So jump down here like before. Reach underneath, get the left side of this bracket, start twisting that bolt in there. It's probably best to use a wrench. Make sure you're not cross-threading it, because these are engine components after all. Regardless of if they're not doing anything, you don't want any cross-threaded bolts in your engine bay. Can't really find a good position to angle my camera and do this. I suppose I could do it one-handed, but if this ends up getting cut short, just know that this should only take like a minute, and there's essentially no reason for me to be here wasting my time when you should know how to screw a bolt if you've made it this far. But we're gonna do it anyways because we want to try to keep this video as true as possible. Show you I'm not skipping any steps or leaving you behind in the dust to figure out anything on your own. Twisting. Alright, so from this point, it's going either way. I gotta use my hands here. There you go. Now you don't want to over tighten it. Use both hands, get a firm grip on your wrench. You don't want to snap that bolt. Both hands, make sure you do not over tighten it. Make sure you feel like it's in there firm, not too firm. You'll know if you're beating the piss out of your bolts, that's on you, bud. After earlier, remember the 3/4? It's time for this one to go back on, so you better kept it back in your wrench because I told you it's the only one you need. Make sure your bracket down here is pushed in all the way. Take your bolt, try to, I switch hands here. Try to figure out a way you can, like this. This sucks. There you go. You got a way you can maneuver it on there and start twisting it on by hand until it gets too tight. Then you're gonna want to get back out that 3/4 wrench. But we ain't there yet. We ain't there yet. Getting close. It's starting to give me hassle. You want to do it as tight as possible with your hand, so you're not down here with the wrench beating on it. 3/4. See it. There she is. Now here, I believe we go down. Yeah, down. Down to tighten, and then up to loosen, always. If you got bolts that are coming out like this on your engine bed. Something always to remember, down tight, up loose. Something like that, I don't know. Same deal with this one. You don't want to snap it, but you want to make sure that this fucking bolt is on here good and firm. There's a real small chance I would ever come loose and fall off, but do you want to risk it with your power steering pump? Probably not. Make sure that thing's on there good. We ain't risking it with nobody's power steering pumps around here. Look at that. It's on there firm once again. Everything's back into position over here. Now you want to get that 10mm bolt for your camshaft position sensor. Try to wiggle your way down underneath here. And I mean, obviously you can see at the top, but I can very easily tap it with my middle finger. So take your 2 fingers, slide it in there like that. You should be able to push it in and start twisting. But make sure you're not beating on it too hard, or it'll knock around in there. This is going to be a little difficult, but I'm going to try to catch it on video if I can. Likely not, actually, is what it's looking at. If I can position you guys right here. Oh, let's see what we can do. Yeah, probably not. Ugh. Okay, I lied earlier. This part might be the worst. If you got big fingers, good luck. But it's totally doable. Reach around here. Maybe grab it like a cigarette the other way. Slide it in there like that. Let's try it that way. I can't remember how I did this last time I did one of these. I think it's this way, though. You want to get that, find the hole on the camshaft position sensor for the bolt, and try and get this bolt into that hole. If you can just feel around in there and guide it around, maybe. I'm struggling. I'm gonna lie to you. Dang. I need both hands for this. No more playing around. You probably will too, so don't get upset at me for giving you a bad angle here. But we're getting it in live. There we go. Alright. Using this other hand to guide, a big wraparound method. That did it just fucking fine. So basically, you're like choking it. you're gonna Bart Simpson this shit and get that screw in there, the bolt, twist it with both hands. If you didn't wear gloves, your fingers probably all greasy now. They should be. You should have used bolt grease. If you didn't replace it, you probably should have used it anyways, though. I don't know. You guys do you. I want to make sure my shit lasts long, so I'm either replacing it brand new or greasing it. But yeah, she's twisting in there as I'm speaking. It's just a pain. Yeah, easiest way to get around to it is if you just do this big wraparound method and get your pointer finger and your middle finger on your left hand to push towards the passenger side of the car, and then you want your middle finger to be pushing the bolt towards you. That's the easiest way to get this in here without giving yourself too much of an hassle, but you're gonna be pushing your gut up against the body of the car. Anyways, we got to hand tighten all the way in there in that amount of time, probably a minute or two. Wasn't anything too crazy. Now we get the 10mm wrench out again, take the extension off real quick. And once we get this extension off, make sure we got it set on tight. We'll get under there, do what I told you earlier by getting this wrench under here, tighten it. But you want to make sure you got this as hand tight as possible, because you don't want to be sitting here fighting here with the wrench. See, I could have... now I'm twisting the wrong way. I'm getting distracted. But, yeah. Make sure that's hand tight on there. And your ratchet shouldn't give you that much problems. I'm going to pause it real quick, make sure that's hand tight on all the way. Probably take me 20-30 seconds. Alright, that was definitely like 20 seconds at most. That's all it took. But now I can get the wrench down in here again. Start, this one kind of sucks. There we go. Alright, get the wrench down in there. Try to get it all lined up on that bolt. It's real hard to see though if you can't recall. This was positioned correctly. It kind of doesn't feel like it. Get my light on in here. Let's see. If I can just look at the sensor. Oh yeah, that is not in there yet. So you're gonna want to push that in there all the way and make sure it's not up there. You'll be able to tell if you. There you go. See, look at that. Beautiful. It was just kind of uncushioned right there, but I got it in there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I found out that it is potentially easier to use just a regular style wrench when you're getting down in there. Try to tighten that 10mm back up. My wrench is kind of bogus, so it likes to give me problems here and there. It's just easier for me to grab this thing and get it all tightened back up, but if yours works fine, you shouldn't have any problems, but I need to replace that one. Won't lie to you, this process is becoming, in fact, a lot more tedious now that I have to use one of these regular hand wrenches, but it works steadily if you got a little bit of patience and you don't lose your cool over little stuff like this. It ain't nothing. You just gotta sit here and get comfortable. Keep trying to find it again after you pull it back off and just tighten it back up. That was down. Oops. Just loosened it. Both sides, whatever works. This side usually works the best. So you got more teeth to catch different positions. But even still, sometimes you'll struggle to want to find a catching point, so you switch it back over to the other side. If that don't work, flip it over to the other side. One of these sides always works. So, I don't know. Can't get it one way, just try it. Flip it around, try it the other way. She'll talk to you. Like that. See, look at that. Just flip it around both ways. That didn't work. Flip it back over. Flip it this way. Just trying to find a good point to teeth catch onto it, you know? But you don't got a good socket. Makes it real tedious to get down in there. Alright, got both them sensors on there. Got them both tight. They ain't going nowhere on there. Make sure they're on there good, but like I said, Alrighty, now that you got everything in there connected, you want to make sure you give everything a solid wiggle. Make sure it's in there good, ain't going anywhere. All your sensors you replace, you want to make sure these things are in here tight. Otherwise, you'll have oil shooting out whenever you turn the car on if they're not in there tight. Now, I changed another one on this side, so I'm also going to check this one right here, which is on tight. I should have noted earlier that when you're doing it, I'll just add to the video. I don't know if I remember, this is a long video. When you're doing it, if you made it this far before you started working on it, push up against the top and then screw in, if possible, to make sure that your gaskets seat properly in there and you're not gonna have a little bit of oil leaking out. I mean, it's not gonna destroy anything, but why would you want an oil leak when you don't have to have one, kind of thing, you know what I mean? So from here on, we're gonna reconnect our intake hose onto the intake manifold. Basically just, I can probably do this one-handed. Just kind of squeeze it on there. Got it on there, and then you'll connect your vacuum line. Goes all the way back to the engine. You'll connect that onto your intake hose. Get that all reconnected. 1 second. Basically, you just give it a, grab it by the base. There you go. Grab this by the base right here. Push in while you're holding this side as reinforcement. Push them both together, and you'll get it in there no problem. But you might run into the issue that I just did. That your hose right here, which is, it's all the way seated, likes to slide out of its compartment right here. So you're gonna want to make sure that that's also connected. Otherwise, you know, you'll get dust flying up in here, and there's an area that likes to collect a lot of dust and debris, obviously, just from time and things like that. Make sure that's on there good and firm. Everything's on there good and firm. And you'll take your make sure that's on there good. We'll go back and grab our, wherever the hell I did with it, right here, 8mm. Probably see if we can hand tighten that a little bit before I try to one-hand it. Probably not. Okay. 8mm. Put that boy on there. You just spin it. Maybe try a couple times. Yeah. Make sure that's on there good and tight. You don't want this hose coming loose. I know it might sound cool to hear the car without the intake hose right on the fucking intake manifold, but as other people have said before, this thing's so fucking big you can suck up a bird in here. Chances are you won't because you're grill, but just saying, a lot of things could get in there. Mice could get in there, whatever. Sounds cool, but it's stupid, dumb, not worth it. This, cutting up your air blocks. Don't care what anybody says. People have been doing this for a long time. It's cool. Just make sure you put a filter on the end of this if that's how you're gonna do it. Keep this piece on there with your mass airflow sensor. But yeah, we're at the point we're just getting everything put back together and making sure everything's firing. I didn't even loosen that one because there wasn't a point since I unscrewed it from the box itself. So I'm just gonna continue, make sure this is on here good and tight. Like I said, don't want it coming loose, but you also don't want it snapping. That was perfect. And once again, give everything a good pull and tug. You always want to double, triple check your work. Make sure you don't have any loose ends right here. Something that'll leak something, it's not connected, or God knows what, like this right here. I mean, obviously I would have caught it, but mass airflow sensor. On a car like this, you really want to make sure that that's plugged in. You'll have piss poor performance. Oh, there we go. Just had to hear that click and make sure it was in there. So, from this point on, you just start putting your engine back together and pray that this was your problem. If you got more problems to deal with, that's probably in a different video that ain't mine. What I will say though is if you have a code popping up for your camshaft / crankshaft position sensor on bank 2, sensor 2 or something like that, if you're driving the STS4 model like this one, it's all-wheel drive configuration, you have extra shit going on underneath that makes your crankshaft position sensor a lot harder to get to than what it would be in a standard STS or CTS model, whatever you're driving. It's underneath by the flywheel. You got to get underneath the car. I tried getting at it from above. It's undoable. I'm trying to do things as easy as possible around here, even if it's got to get difficult, whatever. You have to do it from underneath. There's no other way around it. But along with that, you have to take out the starter, and you got to do all different kinds of other shit to make sure you get it prepped, just so you can reach up in there and grab the thing to unplug it and disconnect it. So if you got that code showing up, this might make that disappear. There's a good shot that it'll make your crankshaft position sensor code disappear. But if you can, it's worth checking it out. Otherwise, just change things up here, see what goes on, and then if you still got your crankshaft going crazy, you're gonna have to get underneath it and deal with it. But this, on most instances, might just solve your problem good enough that you won't have to worry about it further on. I know a lot of times sensors in vehicles are overlooked, but these ones are the most important sensors in my personal opinion. I'm unsure of the number, but I bet it's real high of cars that have been junked, been sent to the junkyard, sold off for real cheap because people assume their car's in limp mode. It's all fucked, thousands of dollars worth of repairs, and in reality it's just these sensors, and they're timing sensors. They have to do with all your timing components up here. So if these sensors are bad, it's not reading your camshaft correctly when it rotates, doesn't understand the position, dogs your gas mileage, dogs the hell out of the engine. In your car, in most instances, won't go past a certain speed, certain RPMs. It'll backfire, misfire, this, that, and the next. And those sensors send a lot of cars to the junkyard. So make sure you take them seriously, because you saw my old sensors. It's all three of them that are essentially starting to cut themselves off at the top. And it was causing the car to fall into some sort of limp mode default state. It wasn't a complete limp mode, as we found out through the diagnostic check. But if you're not able to do that, a diagnostic check, it's definitely worth pulling this all apart, cleaning them off. And, you know, if you don't got any new sensors, just cleaning them off will increase your performance more than what it's at, but it will not fix the problem if you do not replace these parts. You cannot save it, you know, once you reach this point where everything just starts, where are we at here? Where everything just starts cutting itself, basically. It's unsavable at this point. You got to get new parts. Ain't no fixing it. On my end, I'm going to say there's a 50-50 shot that when I turn this on, it'll run correctly. But I will guarantee that it'll run a lot better than before I slam these sensors in here. And in that case, that's a big thumbs up. Any forward progress on an engine that's dealing with this kind of behavior is good progress all the time. So that should do it for the video today, guys. Hope you found this one hopeful. Hope it showed you everything you need to know. If there's anything else I may have missed or you got questions about, leave a video or leave a comment. I'll see if I can answer that. I'm going to put everything back together, snap a little clip of me trying to get it on, see what happens. My hopes are mid. I don't want to let myself down here, but I definitely expect a massive increase in performance.